Hello people, welcome back to Let's Play Nier. The last time we cleared the story of the Forest of Myth. Let's see what else we can do here. I'm not sure, but I think there might be more stories awaiting us here. This seems to be a house. A tree house. Where are quests? Let's talk to them. This must be another person infected by the death dream. It would appear that way, yes. Enter this villager's dream. Alright, let's do it. Gods, please don't tell me we have to go back in where I'm no good at this mind game crap. I'd rather hit something in the face and be done with it. Perhaps you should spend less time complaining and more time getting on with the mission. Yeah. I breathe air scented with death and resist the urge to laugh, for I know it will sound like the words of a madman. How long have I been in this fresh hell? My box, my prison, is tucked under a stairway in the long, unused catacombs of some infinite castle. Outside I hear the sounds of a funeral dirge that seems without end. Light has no place here. Wind is a forgotten friend. I pray for death to come, but he forsakes me. Time passes, an eternity slips by in the single tick of the clock. Someone knocks on my prison. Hey, anyone there? I hear an unfamiliar voice say, "My savior!" I claw at the door of my jail, embedding thick splinters under my wrecked nails. I scream for help. I laugh. I sob. Surely this is a product of my adult mind. Surely it cannot be true. Help me, I cry. For the love of all the gods, help me! Impossible. I hear the sound of a lock being thrown out and falling to the floor. As the door slowly creaks open, I have just enough time to see a silver-haired man and a floating book before the light pours inside. My eyes, accustomed to the blackness, explode with pain, and I am forced to turn away. "Who are you?" I ask, shaking hands covering my face. "How have you come to this place?" "I am Grimmer Weiss. This is Arxas. Long have we been searching for you. Now come, stand, we shall awaken from this nightmare together." The one known as Arxas extends his massive hand and pulls me from the cell. Through my eyes are slow to adjust to freedom. My ears are as keen as ever, and we recognize the staccato sounds of heavy rain. "I never thought to hear the rain again," I whisper. "Would that this were not such a terrible storm," said Grimmer. "Look at your feet." I force my eyes open and see water pooling around my feet and lapping at my shins. There's so much of it. Yes, and more comes each moment we delay. If we do not make good our escape, we shall all drown in this castle. We know that you are weak, but you are our only hope to survive this place. Time, that long forgotten friend, made itself known again. I nodded my head and swore to save my rescuers, no matter the cost. The castle catacombs are a maze, twisting upon themselves like the endless entrails of a giant. I squint down the dim corridors and proceed north. At the end of the corridor, I find a row of 20 gorgeous canopied beds resting atop a carpet of velvet. All are covered in a thick layer of dust and cobwebs. Searching for the door to the next room, I come upon a shapeless mass of grey matter. It has been shoved against the side of a wall, and despite my fever, I think I see the outlines of a door just beyond. When I reach out a finger and touch a piece of the mass, it turns to dust and drifts away on the wind. Realization slowly dawns and I fall to my knees and weep. Corpses. I face a mountain of charred and crumbling corpses. I look from it to the beds and back again under the horror dawns full upon me. Someone has piled these bodies into a tower and set them in place. Whether they were alive or dead, I do not know. Insanity will not permit me to consider the proposition further. I make a sound, whether scream or laughter, I cannot be certain. Then my mind grants me merciful blackness, and I find myself opening a door and leaving that most terrible of rooms. I squint down the dim corridors and proceed east. I squint down the dim corridors and proceed west. No, I did go back, I think. North. West. At the end of the path, a row of heavy wooden casks lie on their sides in a dark chamber. Doubtless they are filled with wine. My first roars to life. I cannot remember the last time my parched throat held relief. I scramble to the first cask and pull frantically at the cork. The theft of a few cups means nothing, I tell myself. The cask will be ruined by the flood regardless. Finally, the cork surrenders to my attack and thick red liquids bursts forth from the hole. This is no wine, it is blood still warm from the body, whether animal or something else I cannot say. The foul liquid soon mixes with the rising floodwaters, creating a warmth that laps against my thighs. By all the god, are the rest of these casks filled with blood as well? I lack the courage to confirm my suspicion. Disgust quickly becomes fear as I turn to flee, but my weakened legs betray me, sending me toppling over into the red ocean below. The smell of death is everywhere. It threatens to consume me. I must escape this hell. Crawling on all fours like an animal holding back screams. Lest any foulness enter my mouth, I lurch forward through the red waters and out of the room to freedom. I squint down the dim corridors and proceed east. Let's go east again. At the end of the path, I find myself in a great hall with only the sounds of rain for comfort. The waterlogged red carpet squishes beneath my feet as I approach the center of the room. Once there, I behold a beautiful dining table upon which rests china and a silver of the finest construction, as well as the remains of a fantastic feast. As my eyes continue to adjust, I see many chairs surrounding the table, each holding a dinner guest. Noticing movement, I approach the chair at a table set, but as the truth of the matter dawns on me, I recoil in horror. The host of the feast is a corpse, as are all the invited guests. An army of foul, wriggling insects have made homes in their remains, and this is the movement I saw. This once splendid feast was now nothing more than a requiem of the damned. I take a moment to steady my shaking hands, then slowly back away from the table. Desperate to lose sight of the abomination before me, my gaze lands on the chairs upon which the dead were seated. This is a mistake, for the chairs prove to be even more terrible than the feast itself. Each one is covered in a layer of spikes that run from the seat up the back and down the arms. This explains the color of the carpet beneath my feet. I can only pray that the unfinished diners were dead when the meal began. For if not, it is a simple task to envision the agonized screams that must have sprung forth from their mouths. My mind grasps frantically at the possibility that these souls had committed some terrible crime for which was punishment. Though in truth I suspect they had committed no crime at all. There would be no tomorrow for these unfortunates. This was their last supper. I squint down the dim corridors and proceed north. The water has risen to my chin and now laps greedily at my mouth and nose. Dumb bastard, shouts Arx. He surely desires to say more, but the rest of his insult is cut short by the rising water. Criminal-wise, wet and tattered floats on the water's surface. It is already too late for him. This wasn't how it was supposed to end. Alright, seems I chose the wrong paths. Unfortunately. Okay, let's try this again. I'm not gonna read over all this again. Just the new parts. Okay, north. East and north. Eventually I can stand the sight of the waters no longer, so turn my eyes upward. Imagine my surprise when I see a series of paintings hanging on the faded plaster wall. Each depicts a person in the prime of their life, clad in nothing of the clothing of the highest quality. The styles, however, are strange to me, leading me to believe that these people had lived long, long ago. One subject wears an outfit that particularly catches my eye. It is constructed of a thin, breezy cloth and decorated with a motif of flowers and birds, while encircling the figure's waist is a leather belt of the most perfect construction. It is a stunning costume even by modern standards. As I gaze at the portrait, I am struck by a desire to touch it with my own hands. Yet, as I extend a single finger to the painting, I am gripped by a most unpleasant feeling. Staring closely at the image, I see it bend and warp into the shape of another finger. Something behind the picture is pointing at me. Is it another prisoner, a fellow inmate trapped for eternity in this place? I cannot let it pass, and so I seize the portrait with both hands and throw it into the water. The wall is hollow behind the painting, and inside I can just make out a body. Whether or not this is a prisoner, there would be no rescue. This poor soul is long dead. Scraps of clothing lie on the floor around the bones. Only a small amount of fabric has survived, but it features the same delicate designs that were depicted in the portrait. I have been admiring a row of corpses blocked from view by portraits of each victim at their pinnacle. Enough, shielding my eyes, I pedal forward through the water. I squint down the dim corridors and proceed south. Okay. Okay, what's this again? Where did I go the first time? Shit, I forgot. Well, let's go next. No, that was wrong. I went back. Okay, I made too much choices. Alrighty then. Let's try again. What was it? North. Against all hope, we make it to the front door. Break it down, someone cries, and so I give myself to the effort. In tandem with ice and criminal wires, I slam my body against the thick, sturdy door. On the third try, it gives way, and we find ourselves sprawled in front of a castle. The storm is in retreat, the clouds above are still dark and foreboding. But to the west, I can see a thin shimmer of sunlight trying to break through. How can I thank you? I cry as tears join the rain on my cheeks. I would surely have died in here. Looking down, I suddenly notice that my dress is in tatters and sheepishly try to cover my exposed skin. Your dress? Asks Weiss. When you are a woman, madam. Yes, I am. I proffer this to a smile. I suppose that comes as something of a surprise, seeing as how I exist only in the form of words. I can see that the one known as Arxas is disappointed that the thrown dress will be given no further description, but he hides it well. With a nod and a shrug, the three of us set forth to our awakening. But behind us, an awakening of another kind is taking place. Black smoke fills the abandoned castle, providing the countless damned souls inside their final shroud. After a moment, the castle's windows shatter with a mighty roar. A fresh breeze blows through the hallways and corridors, clearing the smoke away for good. As we watch an uncountable black shadows slowly flicker to life, crossing to and fro in front of our broken windows. The castle's dead have awakened to their new life as shades. You have anything to say about that? Hopefully there will be no labyrinth next time. Yeah, I hear you. Okay, I'm gonna quickly save you. And then we're gonna do the next story. There still seems to be one left. No. Yep. Just one. And another victim. This work certainly is trying. Yep, let's go. I'm surprised, Weiss. You're a book. All this word stuff should be right up your alley. Yes, quite. Well, enough chatter, let's be off. A colony of massive sculptures was visible in the distance, their tall forms scraping against the sky. Weiss and Arx had never seen such a sight, and their eyes widened as they tried to take it in. Hey, Weiss, we keep walking, but those things don't get any closer. I don't get it. Are we really that big? As Weiss considered his answer, the sun beat down on them with renewed ferocity. Perhaps they are some manner of mirage, he said. Under this heat, a mirage or two would hardly be an unexpected sight. Arx nodded and wiped the sweat off his brow, leaving a trail of sand in its place. He thought he'd never been so thirsty. The ancient road on which they walked was black and cracked with age. Here and there thin wisps of grass pushed up through the rocky surface, as if defying those who had laid this material down over their home. The heat reflecting from the road made Arx lightheaded. Suddenly he dropped to his knees and slammed his hand against the black surface. God damn it, he said. Is this some kind of joke? Well, I'm not laughing. The complaining had already begun. Weiss tried not to let his eyes roll too much. A joke? He said. No joke. This road leads to the city of art. Perhaps the path itself is simply some manner of grand artistic work. Oh, come on, that's bullshit and you know it. Possibly, but thinking of it in this way might make it easier for you to bear. Arx glanced at Weiss's grinning face, cursed silently to himself, and resumed walking. As time passed, Arx's feet grew more painful and his throat drier than he thought possible. He tried not to look further than the next step ahead, because the bright sunlight made him hesitant to trust his own senses. We are definitely getting closer, said Weiss and thought to cheer his companion. Yes, this much is certain. Encouraged, Arx lifted his gaze. Suddenly he stopped walking, choosing instead to stand in the middle of the road with his mouth and eyes wide open and his finger pointing in the distance. Water, he cried. It's water. Water? Asked Weiss. Preposterous, I don't see any water. It's right there, idiot. Can't you see it? Look, the sun is reflecting off it. Without waiting for a response, Arx sprang to life and bounded towards the side. What in the... There was no water. There was nothing but sand in every direction. Arx closed his eyes and sighed as Weiss floated up behind him, chuckling softly. I believe this is known as a mirage, he said. Many a desert traveler has spoken of such things. Arx shook his head, bewildered. Suddenly he pointed off in the distance, his eyes wide once more. Wait, where it is? I just missed it. Look, it's right there. Arx sprinted off again, leaving Weiss with no choice but to follow. After a few minutes of running, Arx came to a halt. I could have sworn it was right around here. Confused, he put his hands up to his eyes and rubbed them vigorously. As soon as he stopped, he noticed a blue shimmering pool of clear water just over the next rise. With a shout, he bounded off in search of it. The chase continued for nearly an hour until an exasperated Weiss finally floated up to Arx and struck him in the face with his cover. You damn blithering idiot, stop this at once. There is no water here. Arx's face clouded. Where isn't? There is not, and perhaps next time you will listen to me when I tell you as much. Weiss paused for a moment, then continued speaking in a slightly kinder tone. However, I suppose this mad chase was not altogether wasted. It seems we have arrived in the city of art. Arx looked up. Stretched out before him was a row of impossibly tall sculptures. Their journey was at an end. They are huge, cried Arx, completely forgetting the heat and pain of the past few hours. I've never seen anything so big. Each sculpture was formed from roughly the same shape, a tall rectangle that stretched up toward the sky, but that is where the similarities ended. Most were covered with panes of glass which reflected the sunlight in 1,000 directions, while others seemed to be nothing but frames of steel. Some had tall spires on their tops, while others possessed triangular caps. What kind of city is this? Said Arx. Where are the people? Where are the houses? Perhaps the land is intended exclusively for artistic use. The debate continued as they made their way through the city. Miracles of artistry were everywhere. Great iron crates with wheels that sat silent on steel rails. Beautifully carved works with lights of red, amber and green dangled over every street. As they moved away from the massive sculptures, they found a great array of smaller ones. Some were covered in glass or brick, but many were composed of materials they had never before encountered. The sheer variety of colors and styles was staggering. Unable to find a theme for or purpose to the abstract works around them, Arx and Weiss eventually fell silent. On the outskirts of the city, they discovered 3 sculptures in the shape of humans. Arx uttered a sigh of relief as he approached them. Finally, I was getting tired of modern art. The 3 statues were indistinguishable except for a single word chiseled into their right arms. One read alpha, one read beta, and the final one read gamma. As Arx moved to touch the nearest statue, a bird flew from the top of one of the sculptures, alighting on the statue's shoulder. It emitted a brief, beautiful song that took the form of words. Only one form is real, the others are false. The real form will always speak the truth. The false ones will only speak lies. With that, the bird departed, as if on cue. The 3 statues shuddered to life, acquiring color and form as they began to breathe. "Hey, look at that," said Arx, "we are alive." The triplets bowed low before Arx. "Please," said Alpha, "you have to get me out of this nightmare. I am real." "Stop lying," said Beta. He turned to Arx and threw his hands in the air. "Alphas are fake, you know. I'm the real one." "What a load of crap," said Gamma. "Beta is fake. Everyone knows I'm the only real one around here." Alright. Another riddle? The respective pleas given, the 3 statues returned to their frozen state as silence once again enveloped the city. "When you consider all of the statements, only one of them could be the real thing," said Weiss. Arx furrowed his eyebrows and considered his answer. "Only one form is real, the others are false. The real form will always speak the truth. The false ones will only speak lies." Yeah, I'm really bad at these kind of riddles. Which is it? Which is it? Alright, let's see. Beta said Alpha is a liar. While Gamma said Beta is a liar. Well, when considering Gamma said Beta is the liar, that would be telling that. Oh God, Jesus. I think it's Beta. Let's try. The real one is Beta. Though Arxas' voice betrayed a notable lack of confidence, he was relieved to see Weiss nodding at him. Ha! I made it! Ha ha! Whew, I somehow figured it out. If Alpha were telling the truth, began Weiss in the tritones of Electra, Beta and Gamma would be fakes. But in that case, Gamma's claim that Beta is fake would be the truth, even though Gamma is a liar. Therefore that theory crumbles. Now let us presume that Gamma spoke the truth. That makes Alpha and Beta liars. In this situation, however, Beta is calling Alpha a liar, which would leave us with two statues telling the truth. Finally, let us assume that Beta is telling the truth. If so, Alpha and Gamma's lies would make sense, therefore Beta must be real. As Weiss finished his explanation, Alpha and Gamma crumbled soundlessly into dust, while Beta sprang to life once more. "Congratulations, villagers," said Weiss in a cheerful voice. "The time to awaken has arrived." "Thank you for saving me," cried the villager. He dropped to his knees, bowed his head as low as it could go before an uncomfortable Arx pulled him to his feet. "Why did you have a dream like this?" asked Weiss. "Have you been to the city before?" The villager slowly looked around at the bizarre objects and sculptures that dotted the landscape and shook his head. I don't think so. I mean, it's impossible, right? There's no way I could have ever been to a place like this. But at the same time, I feel like I've seen it before. Déjà vu, muttered Arx. It's just like the damn mayor. The vague sense of unease that struck Arx during the mayor's dream spread once more through his mind. Okay, that was terrible. I am positive I have seen that place before. Stop, I get enough foreboding crap from everyone else in my life, don't you start too. Okay, there, now all the villagers can wake up, right? Yes, if the mayor's assumption was correct. I think I've had enough wordplay to last a lifetime, thank you very much. Yeah, I hear ya. Well, let's go see the mayor. Alright. That was fun.
Hello.
Oh, thank you so much. Here, I have something for you. Obtained a one-handed sword faith. Holy crap, I can really have this? Of course. It's apparently a weapon of some renown, but we have little use for it. Well, we appreciate it. Thank you again for everything. No. Oh, yes. So, let's see. Yep, the time has come for this part to end. And to end the mystery, the Forest of Mystery for now. I hope you enjoyed this part, and I'm gonna see you in the next part again.